2011. Take a look at them and see. Anybody see anything? Make a motion to approve. Minutes for October 20, 2011.
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay, visitors' comments, start up front here. Up front here, you guys, anything? Visitors' comments?
Yeah. I think everybody knows who I am, John Bryson. I want to thank all the voters that come out and voted for the past election. I think it was important you exercise your rights to vote. People have spoken. There seems to be some controversy over my handout literature being having the proper documentation on the bottom of the complaint file. And I understand that happens. For all of you that don't know the vote count, excuse me, it was 155 to 104 for my opponent. You find something amusing, Bob?
Yeah, do, John.
What?
Continue.
I intend to continue.
Oh, go ahead.
And
the chairman runs the meeting, you don't.
I just want to tell everybody that if I am seated as the auditor for Jay Township, I will refuse my pay when I don't really need it, or I will donate it to senior citizens. Thank you.
Howard?
This winter when you're plowing on Maple, we brought this up before. I'd like to have it plowed down if you can, instead of pushing that snow up the hill. Doesn't make much sense to plow it up. And last year, Mr. Lilly plows it up over the bank and in my yard. It ain't gonna happen no more. I ain't gonna let it happen. There was no call for that. That was ignorance. There's any reason he did. But I think you're aware of how that situation is up there. Now, there's people living in that house up there that park up there. You're not gonna be able to pile that snow up there in that yard.
Any reason we can't back up into that street? Back up to the guy's garage instead of pushing in front of, what's his name's there?
With the pickup probably, huh? Push it down with the pickup, the plow.
Push it down to the fence and then push it over.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you're still not gonna get the whole road.
Yeah, I mean, I know last year I saw a couple times where it was piled up there pretty good, especially in front of the garage there, but, something could be done there probably to push it back down.
Yeah, you push it down against the guardrail, and then sometimes you can go up with the loader if you wanna get rid of it on the other side of the guardrail, and then it's gone. Instead of piling it up there on that road where it can melt and freeze again on that road anyhow.
I'll talk to the guys tomorrow and see what they think of that. Keep it down as much as we possibly can. Might be
Yeah, it should be
sometimes,
plowed all down.
well, it might be sometimes when it's icy, they might have to go up with it, I don't know, you know what I mean? As long as they can come down, back up there and push down. I'll talk to them tomorrow, and we'll try to do the best we can with that.
Well, I don't want any more snow pushed up in my yard. There's no call for that. That's a bank, that's a 7-foot bank. You pushed it right up over the bank.
Okay? Yes,
You've had a couple months to think about that J-Trade ordinance that I gave you to talk about.
yeah.
Any thoughts or ideas on
I
that?
never really, gotta be honest, never really looked into that at all. That's the only complaint we actually got enforced, I mean, with that.
Well, if you want people to sign petitions, you'll get them. I'm just saying it. I talked to Will about it. He's sort of against it. But,
I don't know, guys.
I just like the safety factor of it. If it would get I told him it would get 10% of the trucks to slow down. If they would go the proper speed, they wouldn't need the brakes.
I do see the cops the last month, it's really been stopping through.
Yeah, they
down
was
through
up
Burnville.
there.
I mean, by the school,
Yeah.
they've been really nailing speeders down
I
through
said,
here.
any slow down 10%, you'd be ahead of me. And, I did notice that, you guys never did get around to painting that,
No, we have,
Divider?
I did do some checking on that, and it's kind of, you gotta really look into what you're painting.
well, I wouldn't necessarily say you have to put a curve in it, even if you put it in a straight line from the center of the road up to the highway. So when a person crosses over that lane, they're gonna say, well, I didn't know where the road was. When they get smacked, they're gonna get smacked.
We are allowed to paint the line on there.
Yeah, I said just a little bit, just to define the road straight up right to the highway. Whether they wanna make a little bit of a right hook so they can look down or not, would be okay. You know, that's, anybody should do that, if they come up that way at all. But when you cross over and you get in the down lane, all the way to the down lane, so you don't have to turn your head and look in the mirror and pull out, that's getting dangerous. Well, if you can, just take a look at that Jay thing.
That's, over here, Cora, over here, anybody have anything to say?
No, the only thing I was thinking is like everybody else, it's time people start acting like adults and quit this nonsense, nitpicking all the time.
Yeah, is there any reason, you couldn't keep that there, millings?
I don't know, I was gonna stop, I didn't talk to nobody, but they did a
Already
real
hauled
nice.
away?
Did
Oh,
they
they
haul
hauled
away?
away today?
Well, there's a little bit left up there.
Because I know they used most of that on the burn. In fact, I think they did a really nice job if you've been up to.
Yeah, the majority of what you saw moved, unless they moved
Yeah.
more today, I was up there this morning, they burned the Caledonia Road all the way down to the Mount Zion Road with that milling, this is what they did with it. They piled it up there, then they did all the berms and rolled it in down to the Mount Zion Road. There was some still left there today, I was gonna find out
Yeah.
about it too, but I don't know if they moved more of it or not.
I thought they were going down over the hill with it, and tri-axis.
I don't know, did they move more today?
No, not today.
No, they did the berming on the Caledonia Road.
A lot of it did go back in the burns. You look at the
Oh,
burn,
yeah.
they milled it, then they went out, and they rolled that stuff back in the burns. I think they did a really nice job, and even from the old cemetery, they paved that almost all the way up through.
Yeah.
So I was really surprised. Back here, this is back, okay. Coming across. What's up?
Mine's the same thing, the stink of smoke coming into my house.
And he did put the other piece up,
Yeah,
that's not helping.
they gotta do something with the stinking ordinance or whatever the hell it is. Get that goddamn
Well,
grandfather clause off of that thing.
Well, the grandfather does not hold that stack height, that's why we made him put it to that stack height, because that's what our ordinance says.
Well, it's because he slid in on that grandfather clause or whatever it is.
Well, yeah, being there.
Ain't them things, if it's an outside furnace, ain't them things supposed to be checked when you buy them or whatever, or they come around or whatever?
No, not that we know, the only thing now is you're not allowed to have them within 300 feet. Right now, you're not allowed to have them within 300 feet of another person's house.
Well, he's only like 30 feet from my,
I know, but that's the grandfather, but we did make him.
Randy, you know what you can do with your freaking
I know,
grandfather?
that's the law I have.
Change the law.
That's the law I have.
Somebody better get in a move around here.
The other supervisors? I mean,
Get
what do
the
they-
lead out of your, you know what?
I mean, what do the other supervisors say? I mean,
James
I mean,
grandfather goes with any
I've been
law,
dealing
not
with this
just that
since the
ordinance.
beginning, and I've been doing my best with it. I mean,
Well, we tried to get the DEP back in on this, and they told us to go to the township.
yeah,
We're going to the township. It still stinks. He
yeah.
burns garbage, and he can't say he doesn't, because there's a difference between garbage smell
Wood.
and wood
coal.
smell,
And coal.
and coal.
Excuse me 1 minute.
You have, I'm talking here about when you have a
Wait,
chance.
I'll give you a chance to talk.
I have,
DEP did, when they come down the first time, and they said they have no ordinance in Pennsylvania for it, they have to go by our ordinance. So
Well,
And I know you don't like our ordinance,
They
you know.
called, no, I don't like your ordinance,
I
because
understand
it
that.
doesn't protect all the people.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
And I do, and I got other complaints since the last meeting. I have one here that I just went to Ferndale and talked to that man about, and I have to go discuss that one too. And there's gonna be more of them.
And you're gonna tell him you've got the grandfather's clause.
No, I'm gonna do the same thing that I did with Howie, and if he's close enough, I'm gonna make him put the stack to the height that.
I got a question to Mr. Barnett. Why didn't he fix his chimney instead of moving that furnace outside and put it in that building? I heard his chimney crack when he had that fire.
I have no
Why
idea.
didn't he get it, they got these things that you put down through the chimney that you don't,
Can I say one thing?
yeah?
If it was even coming out of his house, you'd have the same problem.
No,
I think so.
not that goddamn close, it wasn't that close.
Yeah, I don't know, it's the same
I'm
height.
telling you,
It's
we
the
didn't
same
have
height
that
now,
steep.
you know.
We didn't have that
I
steep,
can't,
so we put
all I
that
know
building.
is I did what I possibly could do with my ordinance.
Yeah.
Okay? And if there's anything else these fellows would like to do, that's up to them to discuss it. But I did what I could do with the ordinance. I have no further thing to do with
He
it.
starts his furnace up now at night, which he thinks nobody could see it.
Well, I imagine it'd be going all year.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I mean, since it got dark, he started, instead of starting it in the morning, he starts it at night, and he thinks nobody could see it. I have more pictures, night pictures.
Like I said, I did what I totally could do up to our ordinance.
And I want you guys to look at it.
I looked at the other ones. I looked at the other ones.
You can't even see his house
I have.
from our place.
Can I explain to you what these are?
I can see what they are. They're smoking.
No. This was on the 17th, the 16th. These are gone. Oh, wait a minute. We'll start here. That's on 17th. This is on the night that all the kids were going Halloween and,
That's before they put the rest of the stack.
no, that's the stack right there. This is when all the kids were going Halloween and it stunk. Every time you opened your door to greet the Halloweeners, it stunk. The kids.
I have the same problem burning. That man has 5 around his house. 5 different people burning. So, I mean, I don't even know what I'm gonna do with all that.
I was going to bed last night. That is at 11:50. This, and you see the time right there. This is at midnight. This is a minute or so after midnight. And that's right outside my window. So it's on our property.
I understand that. I can't do nothing with smoke on your property. I just can't. I have at least 3 different places that I know are doing the same thing to people. And the only thing I can do is go by that ordinance. That's all.
Change the ordinance. Or change the law somehow to protect the other people that has to deal with this.
Even if we changed that ordinance, it would be grandfathered. You see what I'm saying? Anybody there?
Go to your lawyer. There's words that you can use to change that.
The lawyer made that ordinance.
Well, he didn't know what he was doing.
Well, call him up. I mean, seriously, I don't know what else I can do for you. Do we have any other suggestions? What's your other?
Any change to the ordinance would just be grandfathered in.
Yeah, that's the problem. If you make a new ordinance today.
It wouldn't
everything before
help
that
your
is
situation.
grandfathered.
It may help others in the future, but it wouldn't help your particular situation.
I think the future's fine because you're not allowed them that close within a house. But right now.
Well, what about all the people that have to put up with this
Right now.
right now? You know what?
I really don't know what to say.
All of
I
this
really don't.
has all kinds of chemicals in it from wood.
I
For
understand.
coal does too, but wood's worse.
I would say coal's worse than wood.
No, it isn't. If you do your research, it isn't. I did it. I
did the research.
I don't know what you want us to do. Seriously,
This causes,
I'm not trying to
anybody
steer
that
away
has,
from it, and I wouldn't do
anybody
that.
that
I'm just
has
saying, what
a
do you
heart
want us to do?
condition, it will make them worse.
Yes.
Anybody that has asthma or respiratory problems, it makes it worse. Anybody that, it just makes it worse, on the whole thing.
I grant you. I do believe what you're trying to tell me. Like I said, you're not the only one complaining about smoke. I'm down to the same thing. I have an ordinance in front of me, and that's what I will go by.
You can't change the ordinance somewhat to help the
If I
people
were-
that have to put up with this.
How would you want us to change it? To put in there that you're not allowed it within 300 feet now? That it won't work, because they're grandfathered. I don't see how it would work, even help to change it in any manner.
A lot of places have to get permits every year to run these things.
Well, some places.
Why can't we?
I don't feel it's gonna help to change it. I really don't. Because they're grandfathered under the way it is.
And have them learn how to do that. And stop burning garbage.
Nobody should be burning garbage.
Well, I told you before, there is a different smell. It smells like acid. And it smells rank, it really does.
Okay, I mean, that's all I can just say. I wish I had the answer.
Make a file.
Oh, we got a file. We have a file from the
Good.
other one, yes.
Good.
I save everything. Everything's in a file, and, in fact, if you wanna see it, we got it all in the file, we'll put these in the file. Believe me, if anybody comes up with a solution to this smoke, and you're not the only one, I have one in Burndale,
You know
it's the
what,
same
Franny?
problem.
We're getting sick of saying, you're not the only one.
No, I do, I have the same problem.
I know you
there.
do,
One
but
is
we're
sick.
getting sick of you saying, you're not the only one.
What's the suggestions? Where do you go with it?
Change the ordinance somewhat to protect the people that have to put up with this smoke.
What about your nuisance ordinance? How did that ever come out? Wasn't there,
It doesn't help.
it's not even in here yet. As far as,
Yes, it
well, the odorous problem we have down in Forest, was that to be included in there?
Well, what happened in Forest, they were burning them trailers and stuff.
I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about cats.
That's,
It's a nuisance, it's a smell,
Yes.
and that should have been included in your nuisance ordinance.
That went to the attorney and round several times, and, what became, and I, could be something you could do also is go to the magistrate, file your own charges
I
against
also
your
told
neighbor.
you to check with Sykesville, because they passed a similar ordinance, including smells and fumes. Well, it's just added to their ordinance, that's all.
There are other states and other towns in Pennsylvania that have that very same ordinance. And it's just added.
Does anybody want to talk to the attorney about the smells and fumes?
Well.
I mean, I don't know, I thought we discussed some of
What I
that
think-
problem with the smell down there, and he said there wasn't a lot.
What I think.
We did, I mean, the last we knew, it was, with the cat issue, we even had the Humane Society and everybody down here explain what, our hands are pretty much tied with that issue.
I think the way it
Well,
went out.
if she wants to keep the odors in the house, fine.
It's not gonna help.
So now you're starting to let it out.
Well, I understand that,
It's not
I
gonna help.
understand that, and like I said, there's documentation here from round after round after round.
I mean, if you had it in the ordinance, then you could enforce it. I don't know how, but at least at the end ordinance, you can tell her
They,
she's breaking the ordinance.
listen, they couldn't even get, the state police couldn't even get in her door. Yeah. It didn't warrant, it didn't issue, it couldn't get a warrant for smell.
Okay, wait a minute, I told Howie I would give him time to speak on it, go ahead, Howard.
For the record, I am burning seasoned wood and coal only.
Okay.
How come it stinks?
Okay? Yeah,
Oh,
go ahead.
Okay, I didn't realize that, thank you.
couple things here. In a minute, it says Supervisor Ruppy, this is with regards to correspondence and listing of correspondence. Only letters from official agencies requiring board action will be submitted as correspondence. And then if I turn back to correspondence, there appears to be a personal letter from Betty Ritter. I was wondering, how's this policy going to be developed?
No, I don't know that I said that. I believe that I said we only have to include official letters according to PSAP when we were having that discussion last month. I didn't say we were only going to include, but I said by law we only have to include official letters that require action.
Okay, but the board's going to be arbitrary, you saw appropriate to submit, to include this letter, however, is it any letters I write? I mean,
No, Bob, it was the repetition, and it's been discussed already, and here we go with the repetition
All
again.
right.
We're discussing anything new, things like that, we're not going over the same thing all the time.
Well,
That's all.
it hasn't been resolved in most cases, in all cases for that matter. And the second thing, I had a question with regards to the road report here, but I guess I could wait for that.
We'll do it now and we go on, because we're having other things.
Okay,
Go with it, what you want now.
first of all, on two sheets there, you know, the time of the meetings are listed as ending at 6:55. Is that a incorrect entry there?
Yeah, that was an error on my
So
part.
it ended at 5:55?
5:55, right.
We're always done by
I saw
6
that
o'clock.
later on.
And then the week of November the 14th, it's not noted who attended. Who attended that meeting? When was the meeting held?
The-
Friday was a holiday, right?
Right. Friday was a holiday. On Monday, we just decided, by talking between each of us, to go ahead with what we had on the list from the week before, because none of that stuff had been really
What
completed.
was the, so everybody attended that meeting then?
Well, I talked to Keith in the garage, I talked to Franny in here later in the day, because it was a holiday on Friday and nobody was here to do that meeting. Correct.
Okay. You know, I had attended several of these meetings, and shouldn't the public be made aware when you're gonna change times to this?
These aren't public meetings,
They're not
Bob.
public.
These are work-related meetings. Just because you attend them
Well,
is just that
I
we're polite
asked
enough
if I
not to
could
ask you to
attend.
leave. I
I asked
mean,
if I could
that-
attend, and Jeremy, you said I could. But they're not-
exactly. I said, it's not a public meeting. It's just us being polite enough not to ask you to leave, that we allow you to attend them. And
You said I could attend, so I could.
I'm sorry, if you came down on the Friday morning of the holiday, I'm sorry for your inconvenience.
But, I mean, if you're gonna convene and get together, I think the public should know the time and where.
Okay, thank you. All right, let's continue on. Okay, approval of the bills. Everybody take a look at the bills. Anybody got any questions or anything on these bills?
Yeah, I got, on these gas bills, what is this, well, now, we're not mowing no grass, I know that, but, $460 for September bill? I mean, what's this going in? I drive back and forth to Altoona all week long, don't say that. And then the other month you had, $368. I mean, where's this gas, what are we putting this in?
Well, I'm sure we have a record of it. I'm sure we have a record of all the gas that's in and out, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure we get receipts on each one of these. The guys, I'm sure bring receipts back at each one of these.
Well, could I get I'd like to have a copy of what you're putting in, what vehicles.
Well, we only have one truck to put it in.
And the fire department.
Fire department puts it in one truck or two trucks they have left.
Would you have the receipts for all these?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at them sometime.
Okay.
And then this other one, Walmart, batteries and lanterns, what's lanterns?
flashlights. Lantern batteries, the 6-volt batteries for flashlights.
How many of them you got?
2 lights, and I think there was, I don't know, however many batteries for the rest of the lights. There's a light in every vehicle.
I mean, $95. Seems like a lot for batteries, I don't know.
Yeah, they're about $9 a battery.
And then one other way, this, motor, sweepster motor.
That was a mistake from this summer. We're just paying that, what happened, they sent us one right and one.
No, they sent us 2 motors that were wrong, and in them, they sent the wrong motors back, and they finally got us the right motor, and they just they didn't bill us for it until now.
Yeah.
It
that's
got
what-
all,
That was for the sweeper on the front of the tractor. That was last summer we got, we're finally paying that bill.
Oh.
the company didn't send us the bill because of all the
Running around it.
the returns and it got missed.
All right, that's all I know.
Okay, anybody else have anything?
Did you receive any anti-skid in, October? I guess it was only had like 10 days to haul.
Yes, we got, 470 ton in already.
We just have an invoice to get?
What's that?
No,
No, no,
Okay.
they hauled us 470 ton, they said they're gonna try to get the rest of the next 2 weeks, I think they got 2 weeks left. Okay, anybody else, got anything else?
Yeah, but I just wanna add, I'm glad you got the limestone instead of that mud. That mud is just no good at all.
we had limestone last year.
No.
All right, make a motion to pay the bills,
I'll make the motion to pay the bill.
all in favor?
Uh,
Okay, everybody look at treasurer's report.
He said, look at it. He never read it.
She usually reads that off.
Okay. General fund checking, $29,571.95. State fund checking, $1,120.23. State fund insured money fund, $54,750.28. Transfer to general fund, $36,727.41. State fund CD, $38,500. General fund CD, $78,470. And general fund CD, $50,308, and the total deposits for the month was $63,517.58.
Okay. Road maintenance, Bill?
Correspondence, number 1, Jay Township Water Authority meeting minutes. 2, Jay Township Sewer Authority meeting minutes. 3, Elk County Commissioners meeting minutes. 4, U.S. Department of Commerce 2011 Government Unit Survey. 5, Betty Lear Letter of Apology. 6, PSAT's News Bulletin.
What is letter of apology? Just like letter of apology.
That's a letter from Betty Lear for the meeting that she forgot to give you guys, at the end of it, to give you guys to comment at the end. She
You
thought
mean the
she-
sewer authority meeting?
Yes, at the sewer authority,
Okay.
that's what that's about.
I mean, I wouldn't view that as just her.
Well, I mean,
5 members on the board, Franley, and not one of them grabbed a hold of it.
Well, the idea is when she was there speaking, if you remember, when you were speaking, then she said that includes your.
Well, I
So,
remember
that's the
what
way I
happened,
took it.
yeah, I wasn't aware, and there were other people
Well,
there to
she
give
is.
visitors comments too, but
But,
once again, it wasn't just her. When you have a 5-member board, we all should be cognizant of what's going on. And it just
Well-
seems strange that all 5 members, or the other 4 members of the board didn't pick up on it.
Well, whatever, she threw a comment.
Don't you do it, Bob. You make a line.
Okay, road maintenance.
21st of November, just, fix the plow, a pivot plate, change the rear drive tires, rebuilt the auger motor, pivot bolt on the plow, change the spreader, change the bed on the GMC, installed new front springs, front brakes, new tires and new shocks, and I got a motor mount put on it tomorrow.
Okay, down to old business. Of the UCC ordinance inspectors, and we have to pick one tonight.
I have the ordinance first.
Okay. What's that? Okay. Well, first I need a motion for the ordinance.
I'll make a motion to adopt the ordinance, the UCC ordinance.
No second.
You all in favor?
Aye.
Sign that tomorrow. Okay, now we have to pick. We have to pick out of 3 different people, we have to pick one of these to be our inspector for the ordinance through the contact. Do I hear a motion after any of these 3?
Well, with the 3 that we have are the city of DuBois, the Moshannon Valley, COG, and Jones Township. I don't know, I've compared them all, it looks like DuBois has the best rates, of the 3. Moshannon Valley has a fee that we have to join every year. DuBois gives a little bit more back to the township also. You guys see anything different than that?
No, that's exactly what it's on. Difference, Moshannon Valley gives 5% back, DuBois, City of DuBois gives 15%. And all the numbers are cheaper, it's actually cheaper for all residents to go to the City of DuBois than it is to go with either the COG or Jones Township. So I'll make a motion for City of DuBois.
I'll second it.
All in favor of the city of DuBois?
Aye.
This is the meeting recording. We want to put this on here, it's never been on here, we always do it, but it's for the recording of the minutes of the meeting, we just want to make it in our policy. It's never been on our policy, and we want to put it on our policy. Is the second thing that you do when you open up the meeting, is you say, you know, the meeting is being taped and recorded. So I would like to make a motion on that.
Where did this come from?
That's our thing.
Well, I know what that is.
I just asked her yesterday to get this out, because we've been talking about this for 3 weeks, or 3 months.
Do we have a reading of it?
What's that?
Do we have a reading of it?
All it is a call to order on the agenda.
All it is a call to order on the agenda, so we know that's what it's supposed to be, that's the rules and regulations. I'd like to put that on the rules and regulations of the township.
Meaning, is this gonna be an announcement for us to make, or you're saying that I thought it was due to other people and you
That's
wanted-
my understanding.
What's that?
I thought you wanted other people to,
And they can gladly do that if they want. If you
I
think
thought
we
that
don't
was
have
what
it
the
on
whole
there.
scope of the thing was, Randy. We always announced that the meeting was taped and recorded at
We
the
never
Board of
had it on-
Supervisors.
We never had it on our thing to do though.
It doesn't have to be on there because it falls under the call to order on the agenda.
Well, this is the things that we ought to do, I think it ought to be added on to that.
I think if you're gonna make a policy
I think that ought to be
for recording or a meeting, it should be for the people that wanna record and announce that they are recording. That's my understanding of what everybody talked
Yeah,
about
like-
prior.
like possibly that would say, please announce if you're taping or recording the meeting. Like, that's what I thought it was about too, is that
That's
somebody
right.
in the room is recording.
No, that's what it's about, if
I don't-
anybody in the room.
But no, that's not what this is, this is our agenda page.
Well,
What this is, you're changing the supervisor's agenda. What I'm saying, you're talking about putting a policy out there for recording meetings, and all I'm saying to you is, my understanding was that you were gonna come up with a policy for the people that are recording the meeting. Not, this agenda page is for the Board of Supervisors.
Yes.
We already,
Or we could put that on. But I'm saying that should be, we can make that a policy too. We can make a policy that anybody taking has to make that too.
Which, I mean, this is already on our current agenda, even though it's not a numbered item. It's always been there.
It's always been here, but it's not actually one of our rules. What I'm saying, it's not our rule to do it, we've been doing
Okay,
it.
do you wanna do anything with other people taking it?
Yes. I would
Yes
like
or
to-
no?
I would like to make a regular,
you need to have a policy
I'd
then
like
for
to make a
that.
regular policy. Do we agree on making a policy to do that?
That people just have to announce when they're recording the meeting.
Yeah.
I think that could be done with a motion at the table. It doesn't have.
Right.
We have a motion to
But
make
this,
that policy.
this is.
What's wrong with putting it on there? So it's actually what we should be doing.
We do
We
it.
do it all the time, I understand, but it's not on.
We automatically do it, Frank. It's, if you look down the agenda page, when you open a meeting, you have to announce that anyway, as part of the,
But I still would like to make a policy too.
If you look at your agenda, you already have it written on there.
I understand that, but I'd like to have it here as a rules and regulations of RRs. And I would like to still make a policy of it. I'd like to make a motion, we make a policy that whoever comes in here tapes and records, says they're gonna tape and record.
no, I don't have a problem with that. That's what I'm saying to you. It can be done right at the table. It can be done as a motion at the table.
Okay, well, let's make a motion that everybody comes in, tapes and records.
That still doesn't answer this.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with putting it on the rules and regulations?
You want, by doing this, it's just gonna change the order, not change the order, it's gonna
Yeah,
add number 2 isn't gonna be now the meeting is being taped and recorded.
That's what it's
You
gonna be.
do this.
We already do that, but I mean, it should be written in.
Right, all it's gonna do is change the number of the order on this agenda, is what I'm
Right.
saying.
Whatever.
It's gonna make it an actual
As long
number.
as it's on the rules and regulations, and then we'll make a policy.
Right, so throw this out, and you want some motion.
Make a policy, yes.
Somebody's gotta make, if you're gonna make a policy, what's it gonna be?
I'm gonna make a motion that we make a policy, whoever comes in here
Well,
has
you,
to say.
you know what you want, make the motion.
That's what I'm saying, we'll make a motion, I'd like to make a motion that anybody comes in here has to tell everybody that they're gonna tape and record the meetings. They just can't tape and
And
record
announce
the
that
meetings.
they're
without-
recording.
That's right. Okay?
We got it? You're making the motion
You
that
made the motion.
if anybody's taping, they have to announce that they're taping.
I make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Alright. This,
Okay,
Just,
the budget. Budget. The budget, we're changing what, the percentage of the oil we're gonna put down, right?
I don't know, did you go back over with what we had? Because things have changed since the last time.
I'm just saying we were gonna take that percentage and put down on this side.
what were the, yeah, the numbers, are these the numbers, the adjusted numbers on this, do you have that one?
I know, I did
You said about
mine.
reducing the
I
oil.
did mine, what'd you come up with?
No, I didn't, I was.
I went over it
Right,
because
right.
we have an increase coming in of $6,500 on our comp.
Right.
But I went back and did some research on
No, never got the increase.
it, and I came up with,
I don't know. if
Where
I
you
have-
at?
I don't know if I have that in this copy.
Oh,
I
it's
can look
online.
at it. After that, where's the comp increase?
46.
46.
Yeah, so it's not-
Yeah, she put it in here
That's in there.
for 25.5, which is an increase of $6,500.
Right.
Okay,
Now,
which changes the general fund expenses to $353,345. So the general fund income,
Right here.
we went over the,
the wage tax can come up 5,000.
Right. It's been-
Okay.
It's been that high the last 2 years, because that's been adjusted.
Okay, now we can also increase PERDA. $633. You probably don't have that one.
No, I was gonna say,
State forest and lieu of taxes.
okay. 92.58,
Okay, so we can go to 98.91,
okay.
which comes up with, an income of 355,181.
Okay.
Okay.
53, 345 on that.
And then the state fund end over here, on expenses is 152,615. State fund income is 157,833.
Okay, that's what I have there.
Okay, that didn't change. That's the only changes that I did. My major concern that is looking at this, not so much this budget, is looking at what's left for this year, is, I don't see any way, shape, or form that you're not gonna have to pull that CD before the end of the year.
I was mentioning the last meeting, that's especially come January, maybe, or better.
If you base the whole year on monies spent this year, you're coming out with right around $43,500 a month. And we're down to about $24,000 in the checking, so it's inevitable, and it looks to me like even when we're doing this budget that, unless there's a property windfall, we're gonna be about $30,000 shy by February,
By February, right.
on top of the 50.
On top of the 50,
Yeah.
well, you have 54 here in the state fund, 29 in the general.
Yeah, but you're gonna have 46 of that in annex gift,
56,000.
roughly.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's with the general fund CD, that's why I was saying last month, is that, you know, a lot of those
Well, I'm
expenses
just-
already were incurred,
well-
but that money was set aside for it. When we did the paving project, when we did the berms on the paving project, when we did the DCD paperwork, we spent a lot of that money that CD was set aside for. Now, we do have, more wage tax coming, correct?
About 10,000,
Okay.
and that, I did figure that in.
Okay. And we're averaging 40,000 a month, you're saying it's
Right around.
I thought it was 35,000 is what our general average is.
No, I just took the average, Jeremy,
Of
of the whole year.
Right, well, I mean, we've had expenses.
We've
that
had
that won't
$70,000
reoccur this year, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
So, I guess it's time to, I mean, as far as the budget for next year goes, we're okay with that, but what we talking about?
This
Looking
year.
at, what we have left from now till the end of the year.
Yes. And I'm saying, I don't, at that